I grew up in a faith tradition that oftentimes if you couldn't see the wound or the injury, it had to be something spiritual or something that you weren't praying enough or you weren't doing this or that enough, because the church on some level is a little afraid of mental illness. And so I was very quiet about it. I didn't even really tell my parents about it. I wasn't quite sure what was going on other than I had these horrible bouts of darkness. And when I got into college, it intensified greatly. And I can remember dark nights. I can remember going with my friends to a movie, and we're packed in a car, and I was by the window, and I remember just having my face like this against the window and tears just running down my face. And it just seemed such a disconnect between, the situation I found myself in with my buddies going to a movie, and here I am isolated in a car, hiding it from them, but just weeping. And it was a confusing thing to me. It wasn't until about 2 years ago that a friend of mine who's a psychiatrist, I just wasn't getting on top of it. I just wasn't getting on top of it. And so he took me out for a beer, put me down on my butt and said, we're going to go full court press on this thing. He referred me to a very wonderful friend of his, a colleague, a psychiatrist, who correctly diagnosed it as bipolar II disorder. So it was a bit of an embarrassment. I didn't want to just come across weak all the time or as a burden or to let my friends know. And again, friends are friends, but you share a lot with them. But boy, this was such a low part of who I was that it was a hard thing for me to really share with them because I didn't know what the result would be. I remember even talking to some people and they were like, well, when I was your age, I just bit the leather strap. I mean, that's just part of life. You just got to kick it in and get over it and work on and move on. Well, part of what I'm dealing with, a big part of it, it's chemical. It's nothing that I asked for. It's nothing that I can control necessarily. It's a very genetic trait. And my family was even in a bit of a denial about it. I have a cousin who's my age who committed suicide, and it runs very thick in my family. And so I just have been very, very open about it because I just don't want other men to suffer. For those men who aren't struggling with depression and have very good friends who they know may be, keep an eye on them. Open that door. Don't assume that everything's okay and all right, because if I would have had that, it would have been incredibly helpful. So friends are unbelievably important. Get and go to a doctor. Please, please, please. That has been a transformative thing for me, is to get my chemical levels balanced in a sense that now I feel like I can lift a finger and ask for help. I can put one step in front of the other and work on my career and my job. So I'd say seek help and then see a doctor.